Yo, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to another What If video. And in today's What If video, we are doing part 2 of What If Dr. Eggman Died. Now, before we go ahead and get into this, make sure you guys go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you thought of part 1 if you're excited for part 2. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right back into this What If. We open up where we last left off as we see Sonic, Tails, and Team Dark surrounded by a group of badniks, shadow androids, General, Silver Sonic Mark II, and Shard, the new and improved Metal Sonic. Alongside this, accompanying all these badniks and machines, is the new leader of the Eggman Empire, Dr. Starline. Sonic smirks as Starline finishes introducing himself, as Sonic then asks him, "So, Dr. Starline, you're the new leader of the Eggman Empire, huh?"
"Why, yes I am, and it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Sonic the Hedgehog, the blue blur, hero across time and space, the only person who can go toe-to-toe with Dr. Eggman through sheer force and power alone. However, I intend to kill you and all of your friends. This way I can maintain and uphold the Doctor's legacy, as well as the legacy of the Eggman Empire. And once I conquer the world will know that the greatest empire in history is the Eggman Empire, and the greatest scientist of all time is Dr. Egg." However, before Starline can finish, Sonic and Tails begin to laugh, while Team Dark look at Starline in amusement, as Sonic then asks him, "You genuinely think you can beat us?" "Well, considering the fact that some of my shadow androids and badniks nearly killed you back there, I would say so. After all, if you're struggling with just badniks, imagine how hard it will be when you have to fight some of my most powerful machines," as he points to Silver Sonic Mark II, Shard, and General. "So what? All you've done is made 2 new robotic copies of me and a robot that's based off Emerald. You really think that's gonna beat us? Oh, one of these aren't brand new. One of these are your old friend Metal Sonic, now upgraded and more powerful than ever," as he points to Shard, much to Sonic, Tails, Shadow, Rouge, and Omega shock, with Sonic asking, "Metal?" Starline, however, cuts in as he tells Sonic, "Not anymore. He is now known as Shard." Sonic glares at Starline. "Well, either way, no matter how many machines you upgrade or how many machines you build, we'll take them all down like we did with Eggman." Starline, however, laughs and says, "Very well then, let's put that theory to the test," as he then snaps his fingers and says one simple word, "Attack." Instantly, Shard, Silver Sonic Mark II, General, the Shadow Androids, and the Badniks begin ruthlessly attacking the group of heroes as they're instantly overwhelmed. All the while, Starline watches in glee as he says to himself, "I'm doing it, Doctor. I'm taking down the enemy that unfortunately defeated you so many times. However, I do intend to kill him and all of his friends, and intend to conquer the world in your name. This way the entire world will know that you were the greatest scientist in history, and that the Eggman Empire is the greatest empire in the world." Starline then turns to Sonic and smirks as he asks him, "So, about not being able to defeat you, Sonic?" Sonic glares and tells Starline, "Please, this has happened before with Eggman, and in the end, we've managed to beat him." However, Starline chuckles and tells Sonic, "Please, the only way you beat the Doctor was through sheer force and power. Besides, even if my robots don't kill you here and now, I intend to kill you," as he shows him the warp topaz with this. "But either way, like I said, whether a robot kills you or I kill you, you will be killed, Sonic. Mark my words." Starline then opens a portal and prepares to leave, as he turns back to the group and tells them, "Good luck dealing with my creations. You're going to need it." And with that, Starline departs. Meanwhile, as Dr. Starline departs, Shadow, Tails, Rouge, and Omega continue to fight General, the Shadow Androids, and Badniks. Meanwhile, Sonic takes on both Silver Sonic Mark II and Shard. However, much to the blue blur's shock, no matter what attack he tries, it has very minimal effect on the duo as they begin to overwhelm him. Thus, realizing he is in a bad spot, Sonic begins to come up with a plan as he thinks to himself, "Man, these are the hardest copies of me I've ever faced." Starline wasn't joking. But either way, I think I have an idea on how to take them down. Sonic leads his robotic duplicates to a building nearby and destroys some of it, creating rubble, causing the 2 robotic duplicates of himself to separate. Sonic then focuses his efforts on Shard, underestimating him. However, it doesn't take too long for him to realize that underestimating Shard was a huge mistake. because the second Sonic attempts to fight Shard, Shard instantly overwhelms him, much to Sonic's shock, as he quickly realizes when Starline said he upgraded Metal Sonic, he wasn't joking. However, Sonic refuses to give up and fights back with super peel-outs and spin dashes. However, they do very little damage, as Shard also fights back with his own spin dashes while also firing lasers at Sonic, throwing him back into the building. And it doesn't take too long for Silver Sonic Mark II to rejoin the fight. And once rejoining the fight, Silver Sonic Mark II grabs Sonic by the throat and flies him into the air and punches him into a building, followed up by him kicking him down to the ground, allowing Shard to fire a laser at Sonic, throwing him flying back into Tails and Omega, with Shadow and Rouge struggling to stand as well, as they're exhausted from fighting the androids, General and Shadow androids. And Shadow, realizing they're in a bad spot, quickly creates a distraction, firing a barrage of Chaos Spheres, tricking the Shadow androids and Batmix, allowing them to get away. However, General, Silver Sonic Mark II, and Shard continue to follow them. However, after running away for a while, Shadow would grab the group and would teleport them away, allowing them to get away from the robot trio. And once separated, Shadow tells the group, "If we're gonna free Knuckles, Amy, and Cream, we're gonna need to find the Chaos Emeralds in order to beat Starline and his robots." The group agrees, thus they head off to go get the 7 Chaos Emeralds. We then cut to a little while later as we see the group arrive at Toy Kingdom Zone. At this point in time, the group has 3 Chaos Emeralds and has just rescued Knuckles, and Knuckles has informed them that Amy's trapped in the zone. Thus, the group continue to make their way through the zone, with them being determined to rescue Amy. However, unbeknownst to them, as they continue to make their way through the zone, Dr. Starline is watching them through the egg carrier, the same egg carrier we see in Sonic 06. Starline then contacts Silver Sonic Mark II, General, and Shard, and tells the trio, "Head over to the Toy Kingdom. That's where they are. And make sure to get the 3 Chaos Emeralds from them. Understood?" The trio nod their head and head off to the Toy Kingdom. And as the robot trio headed off to deal with the group of heroes, Starline prepares to depart himself with them saying, "Although I am impressed they did manage to find 3 out of the 7 emeralds, they definitely won't find the last 4, considering the fact they're with me. Besides, they won't have those 3 emeralds on them for long, as pretty soon they'll be in my grasp." Starline grins evilly as he heads out, departing from the egg carrier. We then cut back to the group of heroes as they arrive at the end of Toy Kingdom, and they see Amy captured. However, before any of them can make a move to free her, they're all of a sudden hit down to the ground by Badniks and Shadow androids being led by General, Silver Sonic Mark II, and Shard. The group get up and quickly realize they're in a bad spot. However, Shadow gets an idea. And as the Shadow androids and Badniks charge at Shadow, Shadow pulls out a Chaos Emerald and announces the words, "Chaos Control!" Time slows down, and Shadow, using this opportunity, fires a barrage of Chaos Spheres at the Shadow androids and Badniks, destroying half of them, and the rest of the group begins to help. However, much to their shock, they're all of a sudden hit to the ground by General. The group is caught off guard by this, with Sonic asking, "How?" Suddenly, Dr. Starline appears and cuts into the conversation, with him explaining, "Oh, I'm fully aware of Chaos Control and its capabilities. I'm aware that it can teleport you, slow down time, or stop time completely. Thus, I made sure that General, Silver Sonic Mark II, and Shard were immune to the effects. This way, no matter where you use Chaos Control or what you do with it, they'll be immune to the effect. It can either stop you from doing it, or the second you use it, they can attack you." Shadow, caught off guard, would end up asking, "How?" Starline chuckles and simply says, "By having Chaos Emeralds of my own, of course," as Starline reveals the 4 Chaos Emeralds he has on him, and he explains how he's had these emeralds ever since Emerald was destroyed at the end of Sonic Battle, and how the second Emerald was destroyed, he set off to try to gather the 7 Chaos Emeralds, and he managed to find 4. However, the group of heroes has 3, and Starline tells the group, "Now, hand over the last 3 remaining emeralds, or else your friend will be blown sky high." Starline then reveals to the group how Amy has a bomb around her neck, and how all it takes is one push of a button for her to go sky high. Sonic glares at Starline, horrified at what he just heard, with him saying, "You wouldn't. Oh, want to put that theory to the test, hero?" Starline prepares to push the button. However, Sonic does a homing attack, causing Starline to drop it. However, before Sonic can grab it, Silver Sonic Mark II gets in his way, and he begins to fight with him. Sonic and Silver Sonic Mark II begin to race around the area at high speeds. However, it's pretty obvious Silver Sonic Mark II is getting the advantage,
However, Sonic pulls out a Chaos Emerald and says, I know this is risky, especially if they're immune to the effect. However, it's the only shot I've got. Sonic then announces the words, Chaos Control! Sonic then teleports right in front of Silver Sonic Mark II, preparing to spin dash into him. However, Shard punches him in the face, having come to help Silver Sonic Mark II. Sonic quickly manages to get back up, and then smirks, asking the duo, That all you got? The duo then begin to go toe-to-toe with Sonic once again. Meanwhile, as Sonic takes on his robotic duplicates, Shadow, Tails, Knuckles, Rouge, and Omega take on Dr. Starline, who's piloting an upgraded version of the Egg Breaker, General, and the remaining Shadow androids and Batniks. However, although the group is struggling, they are managing to hold their ground, and Tails gets an idea, telling Shadow, Create a distraction while I free Amy. Shadow nods his head and begins teleporting around the area, distracting Starline and his group. And thanks to Shadow's distraction, plus with the help of Rouge, Tails managed to free Amy and hand her a Pico Pico hammer, allowing her to join the fight as she begins taking down as many Shadow androids and Badniks as she possibly can. However, unbeknownst to the group, Starline was fully aware of what they were doing, and he chuckles as he tells the group, I must say, I'm very impressed you managed to actually free Amy. However, you're forgetting I have another one of your friends captured, and all it takes is one push of a button for her to be blown sky high. So, like I said, either hand over your 3 Chaos Emeralds or say goodbye to your bunny friend. The group quickly realize they have no other choice since they're nowhere near Cream. Thus, they hand Starline the last 3 Chaos Emeralds. Starline then smirks as he says, There, was that so hard? Let's go. The remaining Badniks, Shadow Android, General, Silver Sonic Mark II, and Shard hop onto the egg carrier with Starline as they depart. However, the group of heroes follow after him, determined to still save Cream and to get the Chaos Emeralds back from Starline. The group continues to follow Starline as he arrives in Station Square. However, much to their shock and confusion, Starline simply flies over the city, not touching it. However, Knuckles quickly realizes where he's going with him, saying, He's heading to Angel Island! He's going after the Master Emerald! We have to get back there before he does something! The group nod their heads in agreement, and thanks to Sonic and Shadow, they manage to beat Starline there. However, Starline arrives shortly after, and smirks as he sees them, and asks them, Did you already forget what I said earlier? I still have your rapid friend Nerd Chow captured, and if you want to see the two of them continue to live, then I suggest you hand over your Emerald Guardian, as he turns to Knuckles, or else she's going to be blown sky high. However, before Starline can finish, Omega comes out of nowhere and grabs Starline and throws him down to the ground. However, before he can go for another attack, Starline uses the Warp Topaz, causing the attack to fire back at Omega. And before Omega knows it, Starline uses the Warp Topaz to teleport General right in front of him, and General, using this opportunity, fuses with Omega, much to the hero's shock and horror, as General becomes Omega Roll, having full control over Omega now. Alongside this as well, Silver Sonic Mark II and Shard are also teleported by Starline as he tells the group of heroes, Although I could kill your rabbit friend, this seems more fun. Let's see how long he will last. The group of heroes begin to take on the robot trio. However, they're struggling, more specifically struggling with Omega Roll, as they're hesitant to not only damage Omega, but Omega Roll is using Omega's heavy artillery to his advantage. Thus, the heroes realize they're in a bad spot, and Omega Roll, also realizing this, decides to go for the Master Emerald. However, Knuckles comes in, punching Omega Roll in the face with him saying, "I don't think so! Stay away from the Master Emerald!" However, Omega Roll simply gets back up, grabs Knuckles, and throws him down to the ground on the Master Emerald altar. Rouge and Amy attempt to help, however, Omega Roll grabs both of them and throws them into trees, knocking them out cold. However, Shadow, seeing what just happened, realizes that if he doesn't act now, things are going to get worse, as Starline will get the Master Emerald. Thus, he teleports right in front of Omega Roll and uses Chaos Blast! Although the attack does do some damage to General, it mostly hurts Omega, much to Shadow's shock, and Omega Roll uses this opportunity to grab Shadow and throws him down to the ground. However, Shadow reappears right in front of him and fires a Chaos Sphere at General's head, and although it does do some damage, it's nowhere near enough to destroy him. Shadow continues to fight Omega Roll. However, after a while, he gets an idea and leads Omega Roll away from the Master Emerald, as he doesn't want to risk breaking it, causing the entire island to fall. And once led away, Shadow proceeds to take off his inhibitor rings. And once his inhibitor rings are off, Shadow instantly charges forward and immediately begins to overwhelm not only Omega Roll, but Silver Sonic Mark II and Shard, intending to destroy them. However, much to his shock, he isn't able to,
as although they're badly damaged, he's not able to completely destroy them, much to his shock, as he asks, "How?"
Starline cuts in with a chuckle as he begins to explain to the group. Similar to how I had chaos control immunity in mind, I also made sure that these robots were incredibly durable. This way, you even taking off your inhibitor rings couldn't destroy them, Shadow. The group quickly realized they're in a bad spot. However, Sonic and Shadow get an idea and tells the group to distract the robot trio. And once distracted, Shadow and Sonic approach the Master Emerald and stand on top of it and close their eyes as they're all of a sudden engulfed in a bright light and emerge in their super forms.
Thus, now in their super forms, the duo easily outclassed the robot trio, with them throwing them back into the egg carrier. Alongside this, they managed to get the Chaos Emeralds back from Starline. However, before they can attack Starline or go rescue Cream and Cheese, Starline uses the warp tow pass to teleport back into the egg carrier. Alongside this, he proceeds to use the egg carrier to fire attacks at the duo, forcing them to dodge and block.
Starline uses this opportunity to escape as he chuckles to himself as he flies away, with him saying, "Although I may have lost the Chaos Emeralds and have failed to get the Master Emerald, my robots, although badly damaged, are not destroyed, so I can upgrade them to make them even more powerful. Besides, I have 2 of their friends captured, and I can use that against them. Though, I will admit, for my next plan, I am going to need more help. Luckily, I know just who to call." We then cut to Starline a few hours later, as we see him approaching a trio of thieves, with them explaining how we could use their help for his next scheme, as he plans to head to the kingdom of Soleanna in order to capture Princess Elise III and to acquire the Flames of Disaster from her. Alongside this, he plans to destroy Sonic and his friends once and for all. However, the leader then asks Starline, "And why should the legendary Windmaster help you? After all, me and my team specialize in stealing treasure, not people." However, Starline chuckles and says, "I will pay all of you handsomely," as he throws multiple bags of golden rings at them, and there's plenty more where that came from. The leader grins and leans in to reveal Jet the Hawk alongside Wave and Storm, as Jet tells Starline, "You got yourself a deal, Doc." And that's where we're going to end this what if for right now. So what did you guys think? Did you expect Cream to get captured by Dr. Starline? Or did you expect General to fuse with Omega? Or did you expect Dr. Starline to approach the Babylon Rogues to help out with his plans during Part 3 where we finally tackle Sonic 06? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and make sure you guys go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.